Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the green final form Sparking Frieza, which is a fierce fight Frieza that came out relatively recently on DB Legends. So not too long ago. I'm not saying he's brand new or anything, but not too long ago, and I wanted to take a look at him mainly because I've just been trying out some different teams in PvP. But I feel like he's not a bad unit, kind of like the Beerus I recently took a look at. I feel like he's not bad. I feel like he has a place. I'm not saying he's going to be OP or anything, but I definitely feel like there is a good space for him as a unit, and he can have some good viability overall. Obviously, fierce fight or free-to-play units, they're not insane, okay? They're not going to break anyone's minds. They're not going to blow your mind. They're not going to do anything crazy, but they aren't bad. And I think one thing that I will say when it comes to the fierce fight free-to-plays, they have done better in giving them very niche but quietly effective roles. Again, not like they're going to blow your mind in any way, shape or form, but they are going to do a little bit of heavy lifting, especially from the support point of view. Now, Frieza is not a fast start out of the gates kind of unit. He does not come out really strong. He does not dominate the battle from the beginning. That's not his vibe. That's not what he's about. He is, for all intents and purposes, a little bit of a late bloomer. So if you're trying to use him, you generally bring him out late, seeing how he can influence the fight from that point onwards. So let's talk a little bit about his kit and what he brings to the table. You saw my equipment in the beginning of the video. Frieza is, for all intents and purposes, a melee type unit, but I don't specifically know if he is a melee damage type unit, to be honest with you. It's always difficult because fierce fight units have relatively low stats, but I don't know if Frieza is a straight up damage type unit due to a slow start, but he can get to a decent point. So in terms of Frieza's kit, he does some really cool stuff. He will destroy the enemy's cards, 3 of them randomly on his main ability, which is really good. He gives all of your enemies a +5 to substitution timer count, which is also something that's pretty effective. He gives himself +30% to strike damage inflicted against the tag Saiyans, which is very helpful. And he has increased key recovery, which in today's meta is pretty valuable. Key recovery is one of those mechanics that has recently kind of got a lot of interest in it. There's a lot of units that kind of nullify your key recovery, reduce your key, slow you down, and it's one of the ways units are kind of countering non-stop comboing in terms of PvP performance. Now, Frieza will also gain the following effects if there's an event exclusive: Frieza Force or powerful opponent battle member, +10% to damage inflicted, +20% to key recovery, and gradual restoration of health, all of which is very solid. He will also apply the following effects to himself. Every time he uses a Strike or Blast Arts card, he will draw a Strike Arts card next. He will restore his health by 3%, his ki by 5. He gets increased to his strike damage inflicted and increased to his special damage inflicted as well. This is where his big buffs come in though. Based on the amount of time that he has spent in combat, or him and the allies have elapsed from the start of combat, he gets buffs. 20 timer counts, he gets a 10% damage inflicted buff and 20% key recovery. 40 timer counts, he gets another 10% buff and restoration of health by 10%. Once 50 timer counts have elapsed, he gets a 60% increase to damage inflicted, -5 to his arts card cost, and his arts card draw speed gets increased by 1. So in theory, he becomes a lot more viable as a damage dealer once his full kit is in effect, although it does have like a 50 timer count before he's able to really kind of have it done. But yeah, honestly speaking, Frieza looks pretty good. He functions really nicely. Like, I do like what he brings to the table. I think what I really like about him is his key recovery mechanics. I think they help him stay relevant. And he's got a lot of card destruction. 3 random cards on main ability. Special move destroys 2 random cards and reduces the enemy's Dragon Balls by 1 with a double activation limit. And even his green card essentially immobilizes the enemy, draws a special card, seals an enemy card slot. All of that is good stuff. Like, it's stuff that's going to be useful. It's going to help you out. You're going to do a great job. So yeah, I do find Frieza to be solid. I'd like to hear what you guys think, but ultimately I think Frieza's pretty cool, and I think he brings a good chunk of utility to the table, and he's a nice looking unit in this meta. Yeah, I do find him to have good usability ultimately at the end of the day. And also we're facing a lot of Ultra Gokus, which is very interesting. But yeah, ultimately, yeah, Frieza as a unit, I think with everything he brings, is a unit that has a kit that can be relatively good in this meta. Yeah, he can help you with key recovery, he can help you with Dragon Ball control, he can help you with immobilizing the enemy, and he also gets stronger over time, but choosing when to use him is going to be the big ticket. Personally, I like having him kind of there as a solid-ish option to throw in as the match gets later on, more so than trying to throw him out in the beginning. It just doesn't really feel like his kind of vibe. But yeah, all in all, a really good unit. And I think for me, like when I look at him as a unit, I think ultimately he does have, I'd probably say, the foundations to being a solid but not spectacular roster unit. Remember, he also has a somewhat decent boost. As any free-to-play unit, they have 33% for 3 categories in his case, you know, being Frieza Force, Event Exclusive, and Powerful Opponent. And he boosts strike attack and defense, which ultimately isn't bad. I think for me, he's a good looking unit that I had a pretty decent time using. But that's going to be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye.